You are bold, you are fearless, you are radiant. It's time to unlock the diamond from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching high.
Hey guys, welcome back to the BFF Empowerment Podcast, and welcome back to another segment of the Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking to Miss Neena Perez. She is a transformational life and business coach, a motivational speaker, and the host of the Straight Talk, No Sugar Added podcast. Welcome, Miss Perez, and thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm so grateful that you have me here. Thank you for having me, and I can't wait to have you on my podcast.
Yes, ma'am. I can't wait. All right. So can you tell the listeners a little bit, just a brief little bio about yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm a transformational life and business coach, and I help women align who they are to their businesses. I really believe that all of us have gifts and talents and things that come to us naturally that help us to navigate this world. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that want to know how to do that also. So my journey is, started from a place of abuse and unworthiness and all of that great stuff. And as I started to grow and navigate all of that, I started to lean into the gifts that I naturally have. I became an executive chef and then became an empowerment coach. And I fuel all of my personal story of resilience and overcoming like teen pregnancy and abuse and poverty and all of those things that you go through in life.
Hmm.
And I put that in a program called Purpose by Design, which I basically help purpose driven women to use their God given wisdom, skills, talents, life skills, all that to create impacting businesses that don't just make money, but actually make a difference in the world.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay. So, upon reading your bio, I saw that you offer a program called Wisdom to Wealth. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so Wisdom to Wealth is like the umbrella of the Purpose by Design. So Wisdom to Wealth is where I really help these women build coaching businesses. So we go through a lot of things, and what I mean by wisdom is everything that you've been through, all of the things that you have learned, maybe in your career, in your life, the challenges that you've had. So we talk about like toxic shame and inner belief systems and emotions and reconnecting. Then we go through a piece called transcending, which is like defining your core values, identifying the gaps of where you are now and where you want to be. Then we talk about seriously setting goals that align with your purpose, not just what somebody told you to do, but actually what you are meant to do. And then we co-create. So you, me, God, we work together and we co-create and start developing a framework, building your curriculum. You start to work with my team on, marketing and automation and all of that. So that's Wisdom to Wealth. It is an all-encompassing program to help people go from concept to launch.
Oh, wow. Okay. So with your program
Mhm.
and all that you do to encourage women to, empower women to go after their entrepreneurial goals, have you always had a support system to help you with your entrepreneurial goals and just the things that you wanted to do in life?
Not really, no. I used to think the only thing I was good at was surviving. And so I always thrived at everything I did. But I can't really say to you that I had people who mentored me or guided me in the beginning. Because I was a teen mom, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I was always feeling broke and ashamed and full of, anger and unforgiveness and drowning in self-doubt, all of those things. I just thought I was supposed to survive another day.
Hmm.
I didn't even know if I would make it past 25, quite frankly.
Wow.
Let alone becoming a coach and a businesswoman and a leader in my movement. But God interrupted my pity party. He
Hmm.
interrupted all of that. He said, you can build a kingdom life and get out of survival mode. And it's time to break that ceiling in our life. So I started to think about what is it that I want to do in life, and I started to think about what I was thinking about because I was always in this victim mentality and this survival mode. I was always it was always a pity thing, like, oh,
Hmm.
I can't do this and I can't do that, and all of those are lies. You can break ceilings and do what it is you want to do in life, and that's when I started to lean in towards who God is and what does that mean in my life and how do I overcome these things. And I started breaking through like imposter syndrome and all of
Hmm.
these kind of things. So then I started to look for coaches and lean in that way because at the end of the day we all need somebody. So I think
Hmm.
every coach needs a coach. I think every podcaster needs a podcaster, every leader needs a leader. We all need someone. And so as I started to have this shift in my life, then I started to find the right people to put in my arena.
Exactly. Yeah, I've always believed in transformation from, being a victim to victorious
Yes.
and transforming from a survivor to thriving. So you're not always surviving, you're now thriving despite
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think most of us are trying to find that place because a lot of us have been through trauma, a lot of big trauma in our life. And,
Hmm.
sometimes it's all you know. And as you're a kid, for me, a lot of the stuff happened when I was a child. And so all you knew how to do was to become a survivor. You had to survive the next day, whatever that meant, you know?
Exactly.
For me as a child, it was eating sugar. Like when I started getting molested by my stepfather, I found comfort and safety in sugar, believe it or not. I would sit
Hmm.
down in the kitchen and just eat spoonfuls of sugar. I didn't know then that because sugar can be a dopamine hit to your brain, that's what I was doing.
Hmm.
But that's what I had to do to survive and along many other things. But we become survivors. And then one day you just are tired. You're just tired of just being survival mode all the time,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I've always heard people say, "Oh, you're so strong and you're so." I'm like, don't you think strong people get tired of always having to go through something to
Mm-hmm.
prove their strength? Like, we just want to be able to live life and not have to be strong.
And
Like,
always
it's a
self-sabotaging,
compliment,
right?
but then at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's not. That means you're always having to go through something to be
Mm-hmm.
strong. Like, you just want to just live your life.
Right. Right. And the other thing is self-sabotaging, right? Like I always feel like I'll climb the corporate ladder or I get the six figures, but and then I do something to kind of like mess it up or not go that direction anymore. And then I'm starting at the bottom again. Then I got to start all over. Like that kind of stuff. It's like
Hmm.
constantly like, oh, I want to lose all this weight. And then I sabotage it. And I want to, it's like, what
That's
is the
actually my
self-sabot?
struggle
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, that's mine too, right? It's powerful. The other day I was talking to my husband about this because I was struggling and I said to him, I'm so mad. I said, I went and I did like a ketovore diet, like really low carb. I lost like 8 or 9 pounds in like a week, right? So I'm
Mhm.
like, unbelievable. That's amazing. What did I go do the following like day 10? I went and had a piece of cake, right? So I gained the weight, like gained like 6 pounds of it back after losing so much of it. And I was so upset and I was crying and I was outside and I'm like, God, why do I keep doing this to myself where I'll lose? Because I have about 80, 90 pounds to lose, right? So
Mhm.
I'm like, God, what is up with that? Like, why is this happening? And all of a sudden, I was taken back in like a time warp. And I see myself as a little girl in my mother's kitchen. I even remember the walls were yellow. Like I remember the whole thing. And I'm sitting in the kitchen and my stepfather started molesting me. And so I was in the kitchen next to the table with a cup and a spoonful of sugar. And I was eating the sugar and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that.
Mhm.
And I'm like, God, what's up with showing me that? And all of a sudden, it's almost like I'm a third person in a movie and I see the enemy like over me laughing. And
Mhm.
he says, what did he say? He said, I groomed you to have self-destruction.
Wow.
And I just started crying. And then I got angry, I started crying and then I got angry at the enemy, of course. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Hmm.
So he started it by abusing me or having my stepfather abuse me. Okay, great. I got abused. It was horrible. But then I started to have self-soothing things, which was the eating of sweets and stuff like that. After a while, it just became a habit. So
Hmm.
now I have to destroy that habit from its root, right?
Exactly.
And
Hmm.
that's where I'm at now. I'm literally at that journey right now. So every time something sweet is in front of me, I need to make a decision. I need
Conscious
to make a
decision.
decision if I am going to allow myself to keep destroying myself because the enemy groomed me, or am I going to take back my power and take back everything that the locust and the evil has stolen,
Hmm.
right? And that's where I'm at right now. Literally, because this just
Hmm.
happened like a week ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my struggle for the last and I've even like given myself because, me and my significant other, we're planning to have baby number four later on this year. And
Mm-hmm.
I basically tried to mentally punish myself, like if you don't lose this weight, then you can't have a baby type of thing, thinking like that was going to help me to, get on this
Right.
health kick and stick to it because this is what I really want. But then I still have not been able to just stick to it. Like I'll do
Mm-hmm.
good for a
Mm-hmm.
couple of days and then something triggers, whether it's something, stressful at work or just something and I keep feeling like I have this mental block
Mm-hmm.
that's just sabotaging me. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't figure it out. What is going on?
Yeah, because it's deep rooted, right? I mean, you've had a lot of trauma in your life as well. Like I was
Hmm.
sharing with you before you clicked record. Whoever is listening really needs to listen to your podcast. Your podcast is powerful, and you have been through quite a bit in your life. And so
Hmm.
of course you're self-sabotaging, right? Because you're still, in that area of your life where you're starting to discover what does that mean? And you never were good enough, right? You were
Hmm.
never good enough. So you have I'm not telling you what you have, but I'm saying maybe there's a self-worth problem here in this area, you know?
Yes, I've
Because
always had that issue.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
me too, right? And so I realize now that it is the enemy who has hurt me since I was a child, so that then I can hurt myself,
Hmm.
right? And,
Yes.
at some point, I have to take ownership. I have to take ownership. And I can no longer allow this to happen. And if I keep allowing it to happen, then it's not a oops on the enemy anymore. It's an oops on me, you
Exactly.
know?
You're
And
correct.
yeah, and I think the only way for you to get there is to actually sit with God and just
Hmm.
say, "What's up? Show me, and I need you to help me release it." There's nothing else I can do. I've tried it in my own strength. It doesn't work. I've tried punishing myself. It doesn't work. I've tried, convincing myself that this is what I want. It doesn't work,
Hmm.
right? And so at some point, we got to get to the root of that baby.
Yes,
And it hurts to
definitely.
go there. It hurts to go there. It
Yeah,
hurts.
because you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and of course, you're not going to like the person that you see looking back at you.
Yeah, and you're not going to like the memory that may pop up either.
Hmm.
And we like to bury our memories because they hurt, you know. Nobody
Yeah, and
wants to
that's what
think
I was
about it.
just telling my significant other. We talked about this a lot. And, because we were talking about the book and, me releasing my book about, what I went through, for the sexual abuse and all of that. And we were talking about how I feel like since my son was born, like the issues that came around with that, and then, getting married and getting abused and having to leave that, marriage and all of that that I've never actually dealt with those issues. I kind of like pushed them and then just like, okay, I gotta move on. Like life goes on. But I've never actually dealt with those additional traumas that
Yeah.
I've been through. So I've been just kind of just stuffing it away and just moving on with life.
Yeah, and it's really it's just such a hard thing to do. And I know people always say, "Well, don't say it's hard," but it is. But it is hard. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say that that it's gonna be easy, or, hey, just think about it as being easy and you're gonna get through it. The truth is we're not lazy people, but
Hmm.
we're in the battle, right? I think we just have to remember that God has already had the victory, right? And all this
Exactly.
self-sabotage and all that stuff, that isn't random. That is rooted. That is groomed in you with pain and lies and fears, right? And this is
Mm-hmm.
where usually that all of that stuff is tied to the trauma in our life. And
Exactly.
you can't heal what you keep hiding. You can't defeat what you won't define.
Admit, yeah.
Yeah, right. And so we have got to put on our big girl pants and we got to make this happen,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think it's in Hebrews where it says like let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. Like all of the stuff that people have done to us, all the hurt and the pain and all of that. That scripture talks about that. Like throw everything off that hinders you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an easy thing to do, right?
It's not.
So, yeah, I mean, for me, I have to ask myself these really big questions. What am I really feeling? And what am I really feeding when I'm eating sugar or when I'm binging or whatever that is? What am I really feeding? Because it's not my
Mm-hmm.
body. It's not hunger, right? I'm numbing
Mm-hmm.
something.
That emotional,
Right.
it's an emotional, yeah, because a lot of us
Right.
are emotional eaters when we're stressed, when we're depressed, when we go to food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we're numbing something, right? So what
Mm-hmm.
is that? And so one of the things for anybody who's listening is like, yeah, I relate. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? If you're numbing something, and it helps you and it keeps you from showing up, you need to journal. I want you to journal this one thing. What lie do I still believe about my body, my worth, my future? What is that lie that I'm still believing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because whatever comes up in you or what you hear, like, I'm not good enough, that's a lie. That is an absolute lie that is keeping you trapped and it's keeping you small for the things that you want to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
throw off everything that hinders you and that entangles you. And then find out and ask yourself, because the only one that knows this answer really on the deepness of you is you.
Yes.
I can tell you a bunch of things to do, but if you don't do the work, you're going to be in this cycle. And I'm in it with you because I'm, like I said, this just happened a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm in this with you. And I have to ask myself, what lie do I still believe about my body, about my worth, about my future, about who I am, about my talents? What is the
Mm-hmm.
lie? I'm not good enough. I'm not sexy enough. I'm overweight. I can't do it. I can't run because I'm heavy. Like, what is the lie? What
You
is
actually
the
just
lie?
made me realize something about myself.
What's
So,
that?
a lot of people, when they've been through a lot of trauma, usually they turn to either alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
sex, or drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always prided myself on being one of those ones that did not turn to
Me
those
too.
normal. But then you just made me realize that, yeah, I may not have turned to those vices, but food is the
Yes.
same as those vices.
Yes.
And that has been my vice is food, dealing with the emotions. And so, yeah, the fact that you need a vice to cope means you're
Mm-hmm.
still not
Mm-hmm.
fully healed
That's
from
right.
that trauma.
That's right. And I don't know if we'll ever be completely healed. I think trauma comes up in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that we can start uprooting things that are hurting us, right? Because our parents hurt us. And so then we took on the job from them and started hurting ourselves.
Exactly.
It's like they passed the baton and we took the baton and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to freaking run with the baton anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I want to lay in a beach. I want
Relax,
exactly. I want to lay in the beach and listen to the waves. I don't want to run with the freaking baton anymore. And so that I think that we have got to take just some practical steps to stop the self-sabotage because our brain is really there to build and protect us. And our brain has said to us, hey, listen, when you eat this, you feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to now retrain our brain that actually that is not keeping us safe, that is hurting us,
Exactly.
right? And I want to live the second part of my life better than I ever lived the first part
First part. Mm-hmm.
because we're not promised tomorrow. So
We're
why
not.
not start today?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in your program, do you work with women with that have these type of challenges, as far as that hindering them from advancing in their careers and pursuing their entrepreneurial goals?
Yeah, those things do come up, like they might not come to me saying, "Hey, I need some inner belief systems done," or anything like that. But I do have my master's in neuro-linguistic programming, positive intelligence, and all of that. So I can help them navigate that for sure. Because what happens to all of us as we become entrepreneurs is we start to hit these walls where we start to go, "Wait, I'm not good enough. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
smart enough. I don't know enough." Right. And so
Mm-hmm.
when those things come up, we have to work through them together because they will come up. Because as an
Yes.
entrepreneur, you're on your own and you're trying to figure this out. And you start to realize, I don't know if I know enough. I don't know if I can actually help anybody, you know? And that's when all the stuff comes up, the self-worth, are you good enough? Are you smart enough? Can you do it? But, I always use this one story because it was an amazing story about this kid that went to college and he impersonated a professor. And he impersonated a professor. He went into this class and literally started teaching a class that he was not qualified to teach. He was actually not a professor, but he
Oh,
went
wow.
in and he started teaching them. And he didn't last long. I think he lasted like a month or so before they figured out he was a scam. But here's the thing, he went in and he taught those students, and the students were learning. And so when they caught him and realized he's not the professor and all this other stuff, they said to him, "How in the world did you teach these students? Because all of them actually passed, like were passing tests and everything. So how did you do it?" He said, "All I had to do was be a chapter ahead of them." Okay. So he was teaching
Oh.
them from what he had learned from reading the chapter before. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, exactly, exactly. But this is such a great life skill and a life lesson, because what that says to me and you is we don't have to be this amazing, a unicorn, this expert that knows everything. We just have to be a couple of chapters or one chapter ahead of somebody who needs you right now.
Yes.
Right? Like
Wow.
you're like you're only a few chapters or a few episodes into your podcast. But you know what you know? You know how to start one.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? You know how
Yes.
to start one where somebody who doesn't even know how to press record yet would need your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
Because
we don't,
actually,
yeah.
I did an interview back in March on
Mm-hmm.
a podcast, and I mentioned on that podcast that I wanted to start my own podcast, but I didn't know how. And so
Right.
I was asking the podcaster, like, so we were talking afterwards, and then it was like maybe like a week or two later, and I'm like, I know how to do this. Why am I
Right.
acting like I don't know how to do this?
Right. Right. Because your
And then
brain shuts it down. Your brain says to you, "Hey, listen, Black Diamond, you don't know how to do this, okay?" And you get into freeze mode. It's
Mhm,
like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I don't know." Right? It's because your brain is scared. And because your brain is fearful, it is going to prevent you from doing it. So it's gonna, make you go do laundry, things you do know how to do, right? Go, make a
mhm,
make a dinner, something different than what you are exploring to do at that moment.
mhm.
And I love that you had that aha moment. And so many people are listening to us right now saying, "Huh, you mean I can teach somebody how to crochet?" Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You mean I could teach somebody how to cook? I do it all the time. I'm a chef by trade. That's what I do. Right. And
Mhm,
so I think that we need to stop making everything so damn complicated.
mhm,
It's not. You are already skilled. You have already something in you that somebody else needs.
mhm.
Period.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And before we go ahead and get to the end of the episode,
Mm-hmm.
I do see that you're also a podcast host. So
Mm-hmm.
can you tell us a little bit about your podcast?
Absolutely. My podcast is called Straight Talk No Sugar Added. And I love to have conversations with people that are real and raw, that have been through something, that have overcome it, and they do something today to impact the world. That's what the podcast is about. So you'll see a lot of entrepreneurs on there,
Mhm,
authors, coaches, people who have been through something in their life and have a way to help another fellow man get through their thing.
I
Um,
love it.
and I think that's something we need to bring more out into the world because not every guru is what I feel like talking to. I feel like talking to regular people that are doing the thing. And what I mean by
Mhm.
regular people is just you and me, just regular human beings that aren't out here trying to be gurus of everything,
Mhm.
because I feel like our stories matter and they should be heard. And yeah, sometimes I don't agree with everything on my show, but hello, that is called
Mhm.
diversity. And I love
Exactly.
having diversity in conversation. So just because we don't agree doesn't mean it's not important. So
Exactly.
that's what my podcast is about.
I love it. I love
Thank
it. And I
you.
can't wait to be a guest on your
Yes, I can't wait
podcast.
either.
All right. So we have come to the end of the show, my favorite part, where we play a little game called What is she thinking?
Uh-oh.
So what is she thinking is I'm basically going to give you five random phrases and I want you to finish or fill in the blank with the first thought that comes to your mind. Don't think too hard
Oh.
about it. It's just something fun. Are
All
you
right.
ready?
I am. This is dangerous, but go ahead.
What is she thinking? What are her thoughts? Quick, fast, no blinking. What do you got?
All right. So women empowerment is
Ooh, knowing thyself.
okay. You can catch me.
Cooking any time of the day.
Okay. Step back or
Step up.
all right. I like it.
Uh, sweet. I like it sweet.
All right. Your last one is forgiveness is good for.
Your soul.
Yes, definitely. I have to learn
Mm-hmm.
that. Yes, ma'am. All right. So is there any last words you would like to leave the listeners with? Any social media, anything you would like to plug?
One thing I'd like to say is until your mind is renewed, your patterns will repeat. Okay.
I
So
love it.
even with new habits, if you start to do new habits and you start to renew your mind, those will also repeat. Okay. So be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So if you want to find me, you can find me anywhere on Straight Talk No Sugar Added or Neena Perez. It's NEENAPEREZ. Wherever you go is I'll be there.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a very empowering episode. Oh my goodness. Like I can't
Thank
go wait
you.
to go back and listen to it.
I really appreciate you
Because you
so
did
much.
drop
Thank
some
you.
gems that I definitely need to go back and listen to.
Oh, I love that.
But thank you guys all for listening. Be sure to follow the podcast, BFF Podcast, Empowerment Podcast on all major podcasting platforms. Be sure to check us out on social media. We are BFF Empowerment Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. Visit our website at bffempowermentpodcast.com. If you would like to be a guest on the Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast, you can also shoot us an email at bffempowerment@gmail.com. If you have any topics you would like us to talk about, or you just want to say hi, feel free to send us an email as well. And thank you guys for listening. See you next time.
BFF, we rise above. Stronger together we shine.